We don't believe that Islam started with the Prophet Muhammad. Did you know that?
You don't?
No.
No.
Where do you think it started?
Adam.
All the prophets and messengers of God were Muslim because they all submitted their will to God. Julian, I have a question for you. If you were to put 1 million people in and around Times Square, packed, and you had to have them unify on one thing to where there's no fighting, bickering, and everyone's peaceful together, what would that be?
Ooh, that's an amazing question. No one's fighting and no one's bickering?
Nope, they're stepping on feet and whatnot, but they're all brothers. They get along.
Different ethnicities, groups, languages,
All over, people
colors,
from all over the world.
races. What could unify them in that such a way?
If I could unify them under one thing, I would say forget religion, forget creed, forget all that. Something created us, and it was the same thing. We may not all know the answer, but the same thing created all of us, and let's just accept the fact we're only here for a second, and let's enjoy it while we're here. That's what I would unify us
Brother, you
on.
nailed that. Submission to one creator, bro. Submission to one creator. I know you wanted to talk about Islam a little bit. Do you know much about the actual faith itself or anything?
Assume I don't.
Assume you don't. Do you know what the word Islam in itself means?
Isn't it peace?
No.
No?
It's one of the meanings. It is one of the meanings. Salama, he's correct. It's one of the meanings.
But
Good.
the word exactly. Look up. Are you on Google right now? Look up submission to the will of God translated to Arabic. Did you find it? Yeah. Islam. So if you were to directly translate in English submission to the will of God, you would get the word Islam. That's the direct translation. The direct translation. Now, do you know what the word Muslim means?
No.
Look up one who submits their will to God, translated to Arabic. Muslim. So if you were to directly translate one who submits their will to God, you would have the word Muslim. We're not called Mohammedans for a reason. We don't believe that Islam started with the Prophet Muhammad. Did you know that?
You don't?
No.
Where do you think it started?
Adam.
Even before Adam, actually. So we believe there's two free-willed creations on earth, humans and jinn, which would be like spirits or demons. So they also...
Refer back to the last episode with Julian
Oh,
Dory.
it comes up all the time. Like
he went deep on that. So you remember how he said how the unseen creation, jinn, they have free will as well, right?
Jinn.
The jinn.
The
As
genie.
Beck says.
So they were actually on earth first. And then God created Adam, right? So this is why we say all the prophets and messengers of God were Muslim, because they all submitted their will to God. Every single one of them. Abraham wasn't Christian, wasn't Jewish. He was a Muslim.
The word didn't even exist. Those words didn't even exist.
David, Noah, they were all Muslims. They all preached worship God alone.
Moses didn't walk around saying, I'm a Jew.
Wait, so you're saying like figuratively?
No, literally.
No,
like
literally.
we believe in all the
Literally.
messengers, bro. Every single messenger that Christianity and Judaism
But did
believes
they
in.
identify that way, or do you guys identify them as that because of what they did?
Can I?
You
got
answer
this?
that one.
You got this or no?
No, you take it.
Let the spiritual leader do it.
So what the Muslims,
leader
what the
is
Muslim says is the concept of worshiping the one creator has always existed. The word we use is the Arabic meaning of that word, but the concept of submitting to the one creator, or as we call it, the God of Abraham, has always existed. God did not choose just any nation. He chose the Israelites to give revelation, but he didn't choose them above humanity. He chose them to deliver the message. So what we're trying to say is Adam was the first human being created, Adam and Eve, right? And they were in a state of submission to the creator, right? So they were Muslims because of how they lived their lives. The concept of submitting to the one God is why, if you look at all the scriptures, they all worshiped God the same way, as I also mentioned on previous episodes with you. It's the same reason why Jesus in Matthew 26, verses 36 through 39, prayed with his head on the ground. So what we say is God sent prophets and messengers throughout time, throughout history. He didn't just choose one nation. He sent prophets and messengers. Sometimes they were sent just to remind people of the message that came before them. Jesus Christ didn't come to change anything. He came down and lived as what you would call a Jew. That word didn't exist. The word Jew was more from modern history. They were the Israelites. The Israelites were Muslim, meaning they submitted to the God of Abraham. They worshiped the one God. We broke this on Danny Jones. We broke this on you. Viral many times, thanks to both of you. that the word Allah is the cognate of all three religions. Ilah or Elohim, Allah in the Arabic, and Allah in the language of Christ. Christ didn't speak English, bro.
Spoke Aramaic.
He didn't speak Italian. He spoke Aramaic.
He might have spoken some Italian.
So one who submits their will, Sonny just showed you, one submitting their will to God, and the word for God means Muslim, right, in Arabic. If we took the Aramaic, and I want you to do your Shalom Aleik because it's a great bit.
Let's do it.
You do it. It's like Muslim tag teaming here. So when someone is submitting to Allah, which is what Jesus did, or Elohim, which is what Moses did, they are submitting to the same God. It's the same word. So the concept of a Muslim has always existed. One who puts God before everything else.
Yeah, so we're not saying that Christians and Muslims have the same God. What Christians call the Father, like the God that Jesus prayed to in the Bible, that's who we would say is the only true God and the only being worthy of worship. Does that make sense?